Before I start this video, I do want to make it clear that actually, I don't care, bro. I'm going to say what I say. If you don't agree with it, you don't agree with it. And if you have a problem with it, you have a problem with it. I don't care. I'm actually tired of like censoring myself and like having to put disclaimers at the beginning of every single video that I do, and just like being forgiving for what I say. So actually, I don't care. I'm gonna just speak on what I'm going to speak on today. Anywho, as you all know, there's crazy things going on in the world today. And I know a lot of people use their platform for what they do. Like if you built your platform based off of what you do and you spent a lot of time doing that and you don't want to jeopardize that, I for one think that is selfish because you care more about your status and image and progressing yourself than actual problems. And I feel like if you've used this platform or any platform that you have to make it this far, there's a lot of people on the side of what you're refusing to talk about that support you. So I think those people deserve some type of acknowledgement to what's going on from people like me and people that are black, and even if you're white. I think for white people it's even more important to talk about these issues because a lot of white people are out of touch. A lot of white people are they don't understand, and to see like somebody that they look up to maybe take a stand and take a side, it might help them or persuade them to do the same thing and understand, because it's not always cut and clear for everybody. I want to start off by saying rest in peace to George Floyd. My thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family and everybody who was close to him. Also rest in peace to all the other people who have passed away by the hands of law enforcement or something else that was racially fueled. So my thoughts and prayers go out to every single person who has encountered or have to deal with something like that. Let me just speak on a little bit about like where I'm from and my experience before I go any deeper into what I'm trying to say and the point that I'm going to try to get across to some people today. First of all, bro, I am from the inner city of Detroit, Michigan, West 7 Mile. I grew up there, I was raised there. It's like any other hood around the USA. Violence, crime, whatever, you name it, that's where I'm from. When I was a kid, I would see, like I saw my dad get arrested plenty of times for absolutely no reason. I saw people that lived on the block get arrested for absolutely no reason. I've seen people fucked with, barbecues, parties, block parties, just police ruining them for absolutely no reason. And to me, when I was growing up, I thought this was perfectly normal. I thought maybe police did this everywhere, not just here where I live. I thought this was something that went on literally everywhere. It happened to white people, it happened to Mexican people. I thought it happened to everybody. Now mind you, I didn't grow up around white people. I lived in the hood, I stayed there for the most part. We'd go to the grocery stores that was in the hood, so there was black people there. I rarely saw a group of white people. I thought the police was doing this to everybody. I've seen the police beat people. I've seen the police put people in handcuffs, put people in the back of squad cars, say crazy shit to people all the time for practically nothing. Police brutality isn't something that's new to me. I just didn't understand it when I was younger. I thought this was normal. I thought this is how police acted. I thought this was the way of protecting people, because you grow up and you are taught that police are the good guys and everything that they do is for you. They put their life on the line for you. So by now, we all see what's going on around the country. We see the protests in Minneapolis, the riots in Minneapolis, and the protests in Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, Detroit, LA, New York. They're protesting everywhere, and things are turning ugly and they're turning into riots and all the other stuff. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute, but let me talk to you about why people are upset in the first place. If you do not understand, you cannot oppress a group of people for 400 years and expect them to be okay with it, and still today in 2020 with the same things going on, and expect people to not be upset. It's like a fight or flight thing at this point. Like if you back somebody down into a corner and you constantly beat them and you constantly verbally abuse them and don't treat them as people, eventually those people are going to stand up for themselves and fight back in the only way that they know how. Slavery didn't end because people were like, oh, this is fucked up. Let's stop doing it. This is fucked up. People had to fight for that. And even after fighting for slavery to end, people still weren't looked at. Black people still weren't looked at as regular people. They didn't have rights. They couldn't do regular things. You couldn't even drink from the same water fountain as a white person, and that's only because of the color of your skin. If you don't believe that there is not equal opportunity in America and people are treated equally in America, then you're so far disconnected that it's scary. If you can't recognize the fact that you being white, if you are white, have a higher chance of succeeding in this world only because you are white, then you have a disconnect. You are so far gone that it doesn't even make sense. You can't place a group of people in these areas, give them absolutely nothing and expect them to succeed or to do better. They don't have the same opportunity. And even if they try to get that same opportunity, there's people above them that don't want to see it happen, like judges, police officers, the mayors, the governors, the president. The other night I was talking to my girl and I was literally telling her how like scared I am to be pulled over by the police. Like when I see police, I don't feel safe. I don't feel like, oh, everything is all good now. Like I'll be okay. I get scared for my safety. Like for, what if I get stopped for no reason? What if something happens to me? Like I don't want my mom to get a phone call one day and they tell her like I've been killed for nothing. It's mind blowing to me that some people don't see or understand how this could affect people, especially a group of people that has been going through this for years. People are mad about the riots, but what they don't mention is that people try peacefully protesting and then they're met with tear gas and rubber bullets. And it's like, how do you peaceful protest after that? How do you try to do something the right way? Because like even when you try to do something the right way, something is still not good enough. It's still too much because they try to keep you down here. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to keep you in your place, and you can't do anything unless it, you know, aligns with what they want and how they see you and how you should be acting, right? You can't expect people to act better than the people who have been trained to act better. The people who have been trained go through hours of training, days of training, months of training, bro, to de-escalate situations, right? To make sure people are feeling safe, to make sure people can have trust in you. And when you lose that trust for people, bro, like it's hard to get it back, or it's hard for people to understand or like care. You know what I'm saying? Like people aren't doing this for absolutely no reason. Bro, it's hard to be black in America, bro, and I don't think if you're not black, you'll never understand truly what it feels like to be black in America. And you can have all these like ways of how you think black people should act and how you think people should react to what's going on and what they should do. It's crazy to me because like a lot of people are like, oh, the rioting is so bad, like please stop the rioting, please stop the rioting, there's a better way. And then you ask them, okay, so what's the better way? And they have no idea. I don't know, but there has to be a better way. You can't keep saying that there's a better way if you yourself don't even know the better way. If you are white, you do have white privilege, whether you want to accept it or not. You'll never be looked at the way black people are looked at, the way any person of color is looked at for absolutely no reason. There's a lot of things that a lot of people don't even realize because they never had to go through it, so they don't understand the pain of being black. People are mad about the protest, but everybody who's mad about the protest, I haven't seen them nearly as upset about people dying at the hands of law enforcement. Black people dying at the hands of law enforcement, bro. People are not mad about this shit, but they're mad about a fucking target. Who the fuck cares, bro? Like, then I seen earlier some other people were talking about like, oh, I believe in protests, but when you start burning the flag, that's when like you can go fuck yourself. And it's like, what sense does that make? Like you value a fabric, you value a piece of fucking cloth over the lives of people, bro? Like you can't keep treating black people like animals for years, hundreds of years, bro, and expect no one to be upset. Expect people to just brush up under the rug and coexist. And still, like, even to this day, where there's white people who aren't law enforcement, white people who aren't like regular white people who when I say white people, bro, I don't mean all white people. I've told you I'm done with the disclaimers, but I do need to make that very clear. I know there's white people who are on the side and they do crazy shit, like the white woman who pushed her son in the river and he drowned and she blamed it on 2 black men, or the white lady who was in the park and called the police and said that some black man was harassing her when she's clearly on video being belligerent. Like this happens all the time. What's crazy is like this happens all the time, except there's not video proof of it all the time, or the internet isn't aware of it all the time, so we can't be in an uproar about it or make awareness to it. But this happens all the time, bro. I've seen it multiple times myself. Like, it's happened to me plenty of times. I didn't die, but like I have been harassed by the police. I have been harassed by white people. I have been profiled and judged and looked at differently by white people, bro, for no other reason than being black. But I take these photos and there's people in the comments like, oh, I'm surprised they're not dead. Look at these thugs. Not even knowing that like some of the people in these photos have college degrees. Some of these people in these photos are trying to make a way for themselves, and it's always, well, why don't black people do better? And that's the worst excuse I've heard of all time, because if you ask any of my niggas or anybody who's black from the hood, they would trade places. Honestly, I wouldn't. There's a lot of people who wouldn't, because it shaped them into the people they were today. But like, if you had the chance to grow up not worrying about when you're gonna eat, not worrying about violence, not worrying about the police fucking with you, not worrying about anything, getting your house broken into, like, a lot of people would trade that in a heartbeat. Like, being able to go to a good school, being able to grow up and be an engineer or lawyer, whatever you gotta be to make a difference and make a living for yourself, a good living at that. A lot of people would trade that for the hood, bro. So it's not that black people don't want to be better. It's hard to be better when you're set up to fail. You can't set someone up to fail, give them, like I already said this, like, you can't set someone up to fail and expect them to immediately or like just turn tides, especially when there's people in positions who are not letting them do what they want to do. Black people dying at the hands of law enforcement is already frustrating in itself, but for nothing to happen after the fact is mind-blowing as well. There's videos, there's evidence of things happening, and nothing's happening to the people who are involved. It's crazy to me. There's black people who have been locked up off accusations. There's black people who have been killed off accusations, but there's video evidence of these things happening, and there's nothing happening about it. And you expect people to not be upset about this. It's crazy to me. If you don't see a problem with anything that has happened in America to black people over the course of 400 years or since we got here, you need to have a serious look in the mirror. If you don't think there's white privilege, you need to have a serious look in the mirror. And it's just sad because like, this isn't the end. Like, this is just an isolated incident that got big, and the other ones that have been big this year. You either stand on a side that's logical and makes sense, or you have your excuses and you say things to fit your agenda and to fit whatever you want to say or whatever you want to be upset about. But there's facts, bro. There's facts. Like, people love bringing up facts, but they never want to bring up relevant facts ever. So anywho, I just thought that it was my place to speak on this. Regardless if it wasn't my place or not, I was going to speak on it because that is who I am and that is who I was raised to be, and I will never change that for anything. I don't care about ruining my brand. I don't care about losing friends or followers or whatever the case may be. Man, this shit is really overwhelming. It's just like really heartbreaking and sad to even be going through and like even having to talk about, because man, the pain is felt, bro. So I hope y'all have a good day, man. I hope, I don't even know at this point, man, but let's go do some shit.